not do that. That was bad.
We agree. We all agree. Big Deke News. While we're at it, here's some other grand analysis coming out of the Steelers building. According to Jerry Dulac, someone within the Steelers organization has told him that Keeanu Benton has regressed. Wow. Groundbreaking news. That headliner story could have read, actually, Deke and every other Steeler fan out there believes that Keeanu Benton has regressed. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. Keeanu was really solid in his rookie year, but then became an afterthought in his sophomore season. And then year 3, these first 2 weeks, it's been pretty bad. But the real question is why? Because is all that regression solely on Benton, or does it also have to do something with the coaching staff and them not putting Keeanu in the best position to succeed? I think it's fair to wonder, considering when Benton had the least amount of Steeler influence on him, he was at his best in his rookie season. And then as time has gone by, he's gotten more coaching, and we moved him over to nose tackle. He's been at his worst in year 2 and year 3. Here's Tom Brady on the herd talking about the importance of coaching in the NFL.
I would argue this. You're assuming that everybody knows how to develop a quarterback. You're assuming that you're going into a program. I mean, I'm telling you, this is not – there's a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing when they're tasked with coaching a quarterback or calling an offense. So are you saying – I mean, just like we'd rank quarterbacks 1 to 32, do you rank offensive coordinators 1 to 32? Do you rank quarterback coaches 1 to 32? Well, what if you have the 32nd ranked coordinator in someone's mind, or the 32nd ranked quarterback coach? How is he getting a level of development that the guy who's first is getting? So I'm saying, what if you're a quarterback and you go to a system and they don't teach you coverage? They don't teach you cover 1. They don't teach you cover 2. They don't teach you cover 4. They don't have personnel meetings. They give you an offensive game plan and they go, all right, buddy, here you go. Figure it out. And after Thanksgiving of your second year, they're going, man, this guy just can't play anymore. He stinks. He can't read cover. It's like, dude, what did you teach him anything?
I get that Brady's talking about quarterback, but I don't think it's a stretch to say that his sentiments translate universally across all positions. You need good coaching, right? Simple as that. And eerily, this Keeanu Benton stuff reminds me of Kevin Dotson when Dotson was here. Because Dotson was a really solid player as a rookie. And then year 2, we move him out of position from right guard to left guard, even though Dotson said he's better at right guard and his talents will be best utilized there. Instead, we stick him over to left. And I get you got to be versatile. You got to be able to do your thing. But at that point, there were openings at both left guard and at right guard. At right guard that season, we had Trey Turner on like a cheap-ass contract. There's no reason why we couldn't have had Kevin Dotson in his rightful position and develop him there. And I would say as the years went on with Dotson and his Steelers career, he wasn't necessarily bad, but he was worse than his rookie year. And that's not supposed to happen. Now, Dotson's with the Rams and McVay's offense, and he's one of the best guards in the league. The Rams paid him like that, and I swear, like every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe once a month throughout the season, I see Dotson highlights on Twitter of him just running over dudes and showcasing his skills that he is one of the best guards in the league. It's almost like coaching must matter a little bit, huh? And with Benton, I think it is safe to say that he's not as good as his rookie year. There has been some regression, but is it all on Benton? The way I laid it out to you guys, I think that's doubtful. And you could see from these first 2 weeks, us trying to make him the nose tackle, that's not really his thing. And if we could see that clear as day, I'm like, where's the coaching staff with this, man? Like, you've been seeing this all offseason. Where was the vision with Benton? Is that it? Like, nose tackle, even though he's more of a finesse player? I get, like, trying him out, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Let me put it to you this way. If Munchak was still with the Steelers, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, defense to offense, but I think it all goes hand in hand. It's just the fact that coaching matters. Coaching impacts these players and their development and whether or not they do develop and reach their potential and or maybe have a regression. If Munchak was if Munchak was the Steelers' offensive line coach right now or for the last couple seasons instead of Pat Meyer, do you think our offensive line is better or worse? I think there's your answer. And then to take it a step further from an individual player standpoint, are we having the same conversations about Broderick Jones? I mean, Munchak took Villanueva, who was an undrafted tight end, and made him into a Pro Bowl left tackle, franchise left tackle. What could Broderick be if we had Munchak here? Broderick, who was a top 15 pick, first-round pick, playing the left tackle position in college at Georgia. Who knows, man? Who knows? So I see that headline, and I'm just like, okay, Keeanu Benton has regressed. We could tell you that, but then, like, why is there regression? Because there's no doubt Benton has talent. Why did he look so good his rookie year? There's no doubt he has talent. Drafted in the second round, looked good rookie year. Why did he become an afterthought last year, and this year he looks as bad as ever? Looks worse than ever. Tough, man. Tough. Kind of along the same lines, though, transitioning to the next topic, we have selected our new kick return man after the Caleb Johnson snafu from last week. We have named Kenneth Gainwell our starting kick return man. Now, my response to that is, why wasn't that the case either before week 1 or after week 1? Because when you're talking about Caleb Johnson returning kicks, I think we saw in the preseason, not really his greatest strength. And then he fumbled the ball in week 1. So why didn't we make the change there after the Jets game and make Kenneth Gainwell the return man? Especially when Kenneth Gainwell has legit NFL experience as being a kick returner. I mean, you could have tried a bunch of different players back there over Caleb Johnson. I get trying Caleb Johnson, but after seeing preseason where he doesn't have too much pop in the return department, why not try some other players? Or Roman Wilson. I know Calvin Austin's our punt return guy, and maybe you don't want to give him that much of a workload where he's doing both punt and kick return. But you have him. You have a Roman Wilson you could try out. Just from a speed standpoint, Roman Wilson ran, what, a 4.4 at his pro day or his combine, whereas Caleb Johnson 4.6. Now, based off the Iowa tape, I do think he was a little bit faster than that, but I don't know. Now we're seeing him in a Steeler uniform, and maybe that 4.6 was a little bit more accurate than we thought. So, like, I don't know why Caleb Johnson was even in that position anyway in week 2. And Big Ben saying on his podcast he doesn't know if Caleb Johnson's even going to get a snap for the rest of the season.
May not get an opportunity again unless injury happens. I'm just being honest. Sometimes you get in that doghouse. Yeah. There's just no way out of it.
And that's even something I talked about in the initial post-game show. And then I think even on my Monday reaction show. It's going to be tough for the coaching staff to trust Caleb Johnson after what's taking place. Not only when he gets the ball on offense, nothing really happens, and then 2 times it's the kick return man. So what's his path to getting back on the field? Tomlin says he's got to earn it in practice, but that's my whole point. Like, after week 1 and that fumble, it's like, bro, we gotta sit you down. We'll give you another chance maybe later in the season, but these games are just so important. We could have so easily, and I've been over this. It was literally just 2 or 3 plays from that Seahawks game that changed the course of it. It could have easily been a flip of the score where we're winning 31-17 and we get out of the Acrisure with a win. Easily. If it wasn't for those 2 or 3 plays, the Caleb Johnson one and the Calvin Austin. And Patrick Queen makes a sack on Sam Darnold on that 3rd and long on the last drive. That's simple. Now, I get you don't want to turn your back on a player, especially a young player you drafted high in the 3rd round. Maybe have them lose confidence this early in the season. I'm talking about after the week 1 fumble. And you want to give them an opportunity to redeem themselves. But I don't know, man. Like, none of it really lines up as to why Caleb Johnson was returning kicks for us, even in week 2. But just everything we saw from preseason, the fumble in week 1. And I know hindsight's 20/20. But again, I think it's fair to question this coaching staff and the decisions that are being made after seeing Caleb Johnson back-to-back weeks in the kick return game, not giving us pop whenever he does catch the ball, but also not even being able to secure the ball on normal type of plays. But that's that. Last topic, Will Howard made an appearance on the Cam Hayward podcast. He's chilling. We haven't heard much from him recently. But, of course, he was asked about Aaron Rodgers being his mentor and what it means and how it's benefiting him. So here's his answer to that.
I thought I understood football well, and then you hear him talking about it, and just, I mean, he can tell you what's going to happen just based on what the front's doing, or, you know, he knows every defensive coordinator and every official, and that's, I mean, I feel like the thing that everyone talks about with Aaron is his arm, you know, and his arm talent, which is off the charts. It's unbelievable. I mean, still at 41, he can do things that I've never seen anyone do with their arm. But the difference with him is he's brilliant. Like, he is smart as hell. He understands the game like I've never been around someone who understands the game like that. And he is super willing to help me. Like, and I've said this over and over, but he's so nice. Like, he's a normal guy. You know, he doesn't care about, you know, what people say about him. He's been through the fire, and he wants to help a young kid like me out, which means a lot to me. And you know, it's still surreal. Sometimes I got to pinch myself. I'm sitting next to, you know, AR in meetings every day, and he's, you know, I'm helping him run meetings and stuff, like the signal stuff. Like, that's my, you know, he likes to give that to me and let me run that stuff. And, you know, it's certain things that I pick up. I'm like, my goal has been like, can I pick up one thing every day from Aaron? And it may not be, you know, hey, I'm going to learn how he's operating at the line of scrimmage today and understand all of it right away. Just the things that he can do, like, and processes through at the line of scrimmage is unbelievable. But if I can take one thing every day, I know that was a successful day and that was a positive day, especially for me now sitting on the IR. You know, I can't be doing anything physically. So
now the reason I bring that up is because we've been talking about the Steelers taking a quarterback in 2026 to be the future of the franchise, all that stuff. But has anyone seen these college quarterbacks this year thus far? At least the ones everyone projected to be slam dunk first-round picks, top 10 picks. Arch, Klubnik, Nussmeier, Sellers. Am I missing anyone? There's probably another name or two that I'm missing there. What have they been doing? Nothing. Arch has been terrible. I think Nussmeier's pretty solid, but after week one, really hasn't done much. He's been winning games. Klubnik's been terrible. Clemson, Sellers, inconsistent. I mean, I don't think any of those guys are projected to go top 10 now, or even, I mean, slam dunk first-round picks in general. But even if they did, are you confident in any of those players being the guy? Or what about the guys that are playing good this year out of nowhere, like a Carson Beck and the Oklahoma quarterback Mateer? Those guys look like the best quarterbacks in college, and if the draft was happening right now, they would be the top two quarterbacks. But if you're the Steelers, are you trading the house? Are you trading future first-round picks, your third-round picks, to go up and get a Carson Beck or a John Mateer? I don't know about that. So maybe, just maybe, and we talked about this after we drafted Will Howard. That's why the pick was so good for the 6th round. It's like, he's got a chance to be the future. You know, next year, if Rodgers retires, he's going to be able to compete. And maybe he could be the guy down the line. But as I'm looking at this college quarterback landscape, it might not even be worth it to take one of these. Maybe it is just, hey, let's do Will Howard and bring in free agent quarterback and Mason Rudolph, some type of competition like that, and use one of our first-round picks on another O-lineman or a receiver, someone on defense. Because, like, a Carson Beck or a Mateer or all those other quarterbacks that I mentioned, what's the chances they're better than Will Howard? A Will Howard that is in the system for a year, that is getting tutelage from Aaron Rodgers. And we already talked about what the dude did in college at Ohio State. Like, don't talk to me that he doesn't have upside and he's not talented. I mean, he's got that, and he's got the moxie, the leadership to go along with it, the winner's mentality. So it's kind of like, just, you know, why not? Give him, look, trust me, give him the competition, but does it have to be a first-round quarterback next year to be the competition? And especially with how this college quarterback landscape is looking right now, I don't think so. And then that brings up the next point is, do we got to be hoarding these picks for 2026? Or would it be more worthwhile to get another weapon or two on offense, give up some of these third-round picks, and stay in that all-win, win-now mode for 2025 with Aaron Rodgers being here? Now, I guess we got to see how the season continues to go. Because if Aaron Rodgers is balling out and it looks like he needs more help on offense desperately, like another running back, another receiver, maybe we need a defensive lineman too. Maybe we need a defensive tackle. And, like, the pieces are there. We're sitting at, like, 5-2, 5-3 at the trade deadline. Then forget the picks, man. Take that Rams mentality. Let's seriously go all in. Because, I mean, I'm not that excited about this quarterback class for 2026. I'm really not. To the degree that, I feel like we got to sell the house and get one of these dudes and make them be the franchise. All right, maybe draft a guy. Maybe draft a guy. If someone falls to you in the first round, sure. Second, third round, sure. Bring him in for competition with Will Howard. But there is something to be said for living in the moment, because what if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy? What if Aaron Rodgers throws for 35, 40 touchdowns this year and we go on a playoff run and he wants to come back? Don't draft a quarterback then. Don't do that. Have Will Howard learn another year under Aaron Rodgers and then see what that looks like going into 2027. Because let's not act like it's this big stretch for a sixth-round pick to be a solid quarterback. Tom Brady's the great example, but I'm not even going to use him, even though I kind of did. But Brock Purdy, 7th-round pick. Dak Prescott, 4th-round pick. Spencer Rattler, a 5th-round pick, looks like a competent quarterback. So all I'm saying is, why not Will Howard? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe out there. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.